to another episode of the Creatress of Freedom. I am Annie. I am your host. I'm so happy that you are here with me today because I am sharing with you the evolution of the Creatress of Freedom. So, depending on if you're new here or if you have been here for a little while, will depend on how much you know about me and the evolution of self and the meaning behind the name of the business and all of these things. So let me do a little recap first with you, and then we can delve into what I want to share with you today. I'm super excited. So the Creatress of Freedom. The business evolution actually started off as According to Annie. So that was back when I started my mentoring. Then prior to that, it was the salon, and the salon was Salon AK. So it's always kind of been associated with my name, Salon AK. And then According to Annie was the mentoring business. And then as I grew and I evolved, I was like, this is not about me. The business is so much bigger than that. It is so much more than just according to me, right? Like it is so much bigger in the sense of what my mission is and what I'm here for and what I want to achieve on this earth. And a big part of this is really helping women tap into all areas of their life when it comes to freedom, from financially, from internally, from their sacred sexuality to speaking their truth, to letting go of everything that feels heavy that they're weighing themselves down with. Every single area of your life is a opportunity for you to create freedom. And so the word creatress actually means goddess. So it is the goddess of freedom, is essentially what the Creatress of Freedom actually stands for. And over the years of my own evolution within being in business and just as a woman, I have gone through this journey where I thought that the money would bring me a certain level of joy, a certain level of happiness, a certain level of freedom, air quotation marks. And it did to a certain degree, but there was this emptiness that I still felt inside. So then I was like, okay, well, it's not about the money. Maybe it's about the time. And so then I started to go on this beautiful journey of reshuffling the business. And I started to decide that, I wanted to get some time back. And so I did that. That was the next level of evolution. I started to get my time back. And so now I've got the time and I've got the money. And there was still this part of me that felt empty, that felt so unfulfilled. And I just was like, what is missing here? Something is missing. I don't know what this is. And I started to question everything in my life. I had not long turned 30. My relationship was falling apart. I had a brand new car. I had a house that had just been fully renovated. The salon was booming. It was doing great. And I just felt like I didn't know what I was here on this earth for. And if you've listened to previous episodes, you will have heard me talk a little bit about um like laying in bed one night with my ex partner and saying to him, like, surely we were made for more. Surely we were not put on this earth to go to sleep, wake up, go to work, come home, do the dishes, do the washing, go to sleep, do it all again the next day. Like that just doesn't feel right. That does not feel like what we came here on this earth for. And so as I was like trying to figure out like what it was that I wanted to do in life, that was when I really went and started my spiritual awakening. And I started to shift the way that I lived. I started to really think deeply about the belief systems that I was currently holding. And I went on this beautiful, beautiful journey, one of the hardest journeys that I've ever gone on, of pretty much like letting go of all identities. Letting go of all identities. In 2021, I think I had this really like next level of spiritual awakening. I left my long-term relationship. I sold my salon. I moved into state. I walked away with what I could fit in my car. And I didn't care about anything other than my internal happiness. That was all that I cared about. And so I went on this journey and I started investing in different mentors that, were living this life not from a materialistic standpoint, but from this embodiment of life. This, like, you could see the aura, you could see the internal peace that they had, and I wanted that. And so as I went on this big journey, and I had several different mentors that guided me along this path, I started to tap into a lot of inner child work that was so, 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 so powerful. Doing the inner child work, growing up in a very strict religious household with a whole different set of beliefs really shaped the adult that I had become. And I didn't realize that until I started to do some deeper inner work, and a lot of people would say to me, like, did you have a bad childhood? And I would say, no, like, I did not have a bad childhood. I had a great childhood as far as I was concerned. But it was the internal belief system. It was the conditions on love. It was the other factors that were taught to me as a child that I then brought into my adult relationships, and even just as an adult, in the way that I viewed and seen life. And so when I started to unpack some of this stuff, I started to realize why I was in toxic relationships. I started to realize why I was chasing the money. And so much of it all tied back to my parents and this, like, inner child that needed to essentially be reparented, or essentially just look at where these beliefs were coming from. And so I went on this, like, beautiful journey of that. And then I went to the jungles in Costa Rica and I sat with ayahuasca. And again, like, I felt like there was some more stuff that needed to be looked at, but I just didn't know what it was. And if you haven't yet listened to my podcast episodes around ayahuasca, I think there's 3 or 4 parts to it. So go and have a tune into them, because they are very, very transformational. Um, when you listen to those episodes, it was a really big turning point in my healing journey, doing ayahuasca. So, I went and did that, and then I started working with a different mentor that really, like, started to teach me a lot about these new age modalities, from human design to astrology, through to, like, understanding the somatics of the body, to right through to like chakra work and energy healing. And all of a sudden, things started to shift and things started to line up, and this, like, internal peace ah, started to come inside, and people started asking me, what was I doing? I started losing all this weight, and I wasn't even exercising vigorously or on some diet like I had been in years prior. I felt like I was always on a fucking diet, honestly. But all of a sudden, like, everything, my skin started shifting. I started to find inner peace. I was, like, meditating daily. I was journaling. I was doing this deeper inner work. And while I was doing this deeper inner work, my goodness, did I find some inner calmness? Did I find my confidence? Did I find that my stress levels just started to dissipate? Did I find that I didn't have anxiety? Did I find that I could go and sit somewhere in a restaurant on my own and be okay with it? Like, all of these things really enhanced my physical, spiritual, and mental well-being that I had no idea about. And so I shifted from chasing the money, thinking that this was what was going to bring me happiness, to, like, I just want to find inner peace. I just want to have this inner peace of self. I just want to, like, be confident in myself. I want to let go of all of the things that are weighing me down, all of the things that I feel guilty about, all of the decisions that I've made, all of the things I've said to people that maybe I felt shame or felt guilt around. Like, I just wanted to be free. I just wanted to be free. And I finally felt like I had reached this level of enlightenment. And I think we constantly keep growing, and we constantly keep um, accessing different levels of enlightenment. I don't think that there is, like, a top level that we ever get to, because we constantly keep growing and evolving as a human. So I think we do end up constantly hitting new levels of enlightenment. And I felt like that was, like, so amazing. because I don't think I had ever felt that before. And so obviously on this journey, I was going on this solo spiritual journey for myself. And then I had my business, and a lot of my business was focused heavily on salon owners, because that was also a big part of my journey of being a salon owner and then mentoring salon owners. And so what I started to do was just have, yes, the strategy side of things within the business, but then I realized that there was this huge spiritual and energetics part that needed to be added into this, so that those salon owners weren't just chasing the money and the time and then ending up like me, where they had all this money, they had all this time, and they still didn't feel like there was this fulfillment. So that's when I started to incorporate some of that energetics work within inside my containers. And along the journey, I've had a lot of people actually say to me whether they could come into my spaces. And I didn't really have the capacity to be able to do it, even though in meditations and journaling and all of the guidance and all of the wisdom that was coming through was strongly directing me to this path. I just was like, I don't have the capacity to be able to kind of like evolve the business to a whole new level. And I just was like, as much as I wanted to, I felt like I couldn't do it. And then the nudges kept getting louder and louder and louder. And I kept having more people say to me, I wish you opened up spaces for for me to be able to come into your world. Like, I feel like you could help me so much. Like, I feel like you could help so many more people than just salon owners. And I was like, yeah, I know. Like, I've had so many people tell me that. I've had visions of it as well within my meditations. But yeah, I guess there was just this like little bit of resistance to it as well, of like, well, like that's the next level of evolution. It's also the next level of unknown, and then the fear that comes with it as well. And so there's lots of different layers here. And I went back to Australia in December. Oh, sorry, in October. And I had to come back to Greece in the December, which was in the winter. And I just had this deep, deep inward time. And if you've listened to previous episodes, you will know that I have talked a lot about the things that I was navigating and what I was working through and the confusion that I was feeling and just where I was at with my business. And I just was like, I felt like there's like we were on this verge of like evolution, but I didn't know what it looked like. And so I just really went inward, and it was a time of like that felt like it was deep confusion and deep misalignment. But like now when I look back, I'm like, oh, it was exactly what I needed. It was exactly, I needed to be in like the isolation season of winter so that I could go inward, so that I could really like shed and break through any of the glass ceilings that were there, and really like delve deep into like, what is the resistance? Where is this coming from? Why have I got this? And really like shift out all of those old identities in order to really decide how I wanted to show up in this space. And something else that you will have heard me talk about if you've listened to previous episodes was this season or space that I was in around the online coaching space, and how I really felt like I was not loving what I was seeing, and I was not loving what I was experiencing as a student as well in some of these containers. And I just feel like the coaching industry has shifted so much that we've forgotten what it's all about. And it seems to be about gloating how many people you've got in your spaces or how much money you're making. And I'm all for that, right? Like, I'm all for living the big life. I'm all for, dreaming big and going after your dreams. But I just feel like this online space has become this, like, this is just my opinion, has become this space of people seeking validation. And like, yes, maybe there's an element of them like celebrating their wins, which I'm all for. Like, I think everyone should celebrate their wins. But there is a part of me that's like, is this coming from this like validation, this unworthiness that they feel? And so they have to like share all of the things, the $1 million months, and the paying cash for this and doing all of that, right? Is there a part of us seeking, and I'm going to include myself in it because I'm in the coaching space, us seeking this validation of self. Instead of being able to give it to ourselves, we use social media to receive the validation to show that we're worthy of what we're doing in this lifetime. And so, if you've listened to my detox about social media detox, you will have heard that I have ummed and ahed and have this like love hate relationship with social media where I'm like, yes, I want to be on it. And then the next time I'm like, nope, I don't want to be on it. And I still have those same feelings and same opinions to this date. But I see the things that I don't like in the space and in the industry, and I decided that I didn't want to be like that. I decided that I didn't want to be that coach that has hundreds of women in their spaces, and you show up to a coaching call and the person, the coach or the mentor doesn't even know what your name is. That literally has happened to me. I have spent high ticket, so like 20 $20,000 into a coaching space where the person couldn't even get my name right. And so I just felt like a number. I didn't feel like I was someone that this person genuinely cared about helping me. Like, if you couldn't even know my name properly, like, I never want the women in my spaces to feel like that. I want to know them deeply. I want these women to feel as if we have a friendship, as if there's a sisterhood there, right? Like, I'm just guiding you on this path. I'm just a few steps in front of you. I'm not your guru. We are equal, and I'm just here to help you remember how powerful you are. Help you remember that you have all of the answers within yourself when you choose to tune in. And so when I started to feel what it was like and how the spaces were changing, I didn't like that. I didn't like it at all. And so I decided from that moment that I was not going to be that coach that had millions of people inside their containers, where the women didn't get to be seen, didn't get to be heard, and they felt like they were just a number. I never want anyone to feel like that in my spaces. And over the years of investing in lots and lots of different containers, I've been in private mentorship, and I've also been in um, like group containers, small group containers, and then large group containers. And to be honest with you, the fastest transformation, whether that's evolution of self or evolution within my business, the fastest transformations that I've had have been in private settings, not in group settings, because you can go deeper, you build closer relationships. You know, when you have one-on-ones with your mentor, you have that entire time allocated just for you, so that we don't just touch on surface level, we actually go deeper, we get to the root. We can do somatical coaching, which is all about getting into the body, and that's where the deeper healing happens. The deeper healing doesn't happen in the logical mind of us just talking it out. It happens with us going through somatical practices where we get you back into your body so that you can heal through it and transmute it out of your body. And so this was like a huge part of this evolution of my business, of like, I think this is the way that I really want to start showing up in my spaces. I want to go back to doing a little bit more private work with people. I want to really have that transformation for my clients. And this is not about me, this is about the client. And so how do I get the best results for the client? And the answer in the evolution to that was to open up some spaces to more than just salon owners, and also to open up spaces that really allowed different people to come into my spaces, but also on a much more intimate level. And so this was how the beautiful energy and healing temple was launched. And I'm so happy and I'm so excited to finally bring this to the table, because we have honestly been working on this for months. Like, when I say months, like literally since December, we have made sure that we have the right systems and the right structures and the right frameworks and the right customer journey for every single person, no matter what it is that they're looking for. So if you're looking for business coaching, then we have an entire section for business coaching. If you are a salon owner specifically, then I have this beautiful program called FSM, which is the Freedom Salon Manual, where you get monthly group coaching, and then you also get access to all of the frameworks, the policies, procedures, templates, protocols, strategies, you name it. Like, that is going to be like the one-stop shop for all salon owners. You need to be inside that container to systemize your entire business operations and to also be able to grow the business, because we've put a lot of frameworks in there as well to actually help you grow the business, not just from putting in your policies and your procedures, but literally everything that you need to grow your business is inside FSM. So if you're a salon owner, that is a great spot for you to specifically be around business coaching and frameworks. When it comes to private business coaching, that is the only, if you are not a salon owner and you have a business and you want to come in and have business coaching, then the only way that you can do this is through private mentorship. And the reason that I've done this like this is because usually when someone is looking for business coaching, and this is what I've noticed, usually what happens is they are someone who needs to get clear on their messaging. They need to get clear on who they're talking to. They need to get clear on their offers. They need to get clear on their services. They might need to get a product suite sorted. They might need a lot more hand holding on what are the things that you've currently got in place and what are the things that you need to put in place. And it's just too hard to set up your entire business properly with the right things that you need to grow and scale your business in a group setting. And so therefore, I decided that if you are a business owner and you need business coaching, the only space that we can do that in is through private coaching, because that is where you're going to get the support in between calls to help navigate whatever's coming up. But we also get to work on the strategy and the energetic side of things. So we also do a beautiful combination of somatical work, and we also do the like business side of things too. That's where you're going to get the biggest transformation, because you've got hands-on support along the way of where you actually need the help and the support. So if that's business coaching, then that's the only way that we can work together is through private mentorship. Unless you're a salon owner, then you have the opportunity to go into FSM, because it's very, very tailored to specifically to salon owners. So that's kind of like the business side of things, from that aspect. And then we opened up the Energy and Healing Temple, which is this incredible space, this incredible sanctuary for any woman that is desiring transformation, connection, a deeper understanding of themselves, healing, all of those kinds of things. It really taps into the realms of like energy, personal growth, and then also like lasting transformation. So we created this space for women who are potentially looking to go on a quest for like their spiritual awakening. Let's say they're wanting to start to tap into different levels of spirituality. They're wanting to maybe awaken their own intuition. Maybe you're wanting to awaken your psychic abilities. Or if you're someone who is maybe struggling with stress, anxiety, emotional challenges in your life, or maybe you're someone who is wanting to start to go on a self-discovery journey and really like tap into like the personal development side of things, but from a holistic aspect. So yes, there's like, the belief system, but it's like from a holistic aspect, we can go into somatical work where we go into the body and we find where those beliefs are actually stored within the body, and then we can release them out of the body through different modalities like breath work, visualization, shaking of the body, guided meditations. There's so many different ways that we can actually do that. The other thing that, if you were someone that was coming into this space, you might maybe wanting to improve your relationships that you have, build healthier relationships, or really start to tap into that emotional resilience that you have within yourself. Maybe you're someone that is wanting to really integrate more of the mindfulness into their life and really start to incorporate those spiritual practices from meditation, from breath work, rituals, ceremonies, all of those things. Or maybe you're somebody who is experiencing a huge life transition. Maybe you have just left a long-term relationship. maybe you are have just lost a baby, maybe you have just lost your job or your career, or maybe you want to get out of that and you're just not sure how to get out of that, or maybe you just lost a loved one that you're really struggling to um, know what's next and know what's on the other side of it, and you just feel like you're kind of caught up in the chaos of it all. Then it's a really great space to be a part of when it comes to navigating those challenges that you might be navigating. Maybe you're somebody who is wanting to be more authentic and really express yourself more, tap more into your creativity, but you just don't know what that might look like. So this is kind of why we have launched this beautiful sacred space called the Energy and Healing Temple. And it's really about embracing this journey towards deeper healing, deeper self discovery, reconnecting to self, deepening the trust within yourself as well. I know that this is one thing that I see a lot in my spaces with women is the women have disconnected from themselves. They no longer trust themselves, right? And so when we start to go on these beautiful like somatical journeys, we really have this deeper knowledge of self, and we learn to trust ourselves, and we kind of put the blinkers on and we kind of go, yeah, okay, cool, this is everybody's opinion, but ultimately I know what's best for me. And it's like this deep knowing inside, this deep peace, this deep fulfillment that you feel within yourself that really allows you to trust your own self and the guidance that you have coming through, because you're so connected to yourself. And that's ultimately really what the energy and the healing temple is all about. So what's inside the energy and healing temple? Well, you can have a look in the show notes and go through the link below, and you'll be able to go and read everything in your own time. But I'll just give you a quick summary here of the new services that we have launched and that I'm super excited about bringing to the table. So the first one is the Reiki healing. So this is actually done remotely. You do not need to be in person for this. You do not even need to be on a Zoom call. There is a specific way that we channel the energy. There is different rules and like codes of conduct around doing distant Reiki sessions. So I've been taught in all of that. I have a master's in Reiki, and we have a process where we go through what it is that you're looking for, what your intention is, and then I remotely tune into the energy and we do a beautiful, beautiful Reiki session. So there's different options with that. Maybe you're just feeling the call for a one-off session. So you could just have a one-off session and I give you a detailed report. I also give you some extra assistance in some home play if you wanted to deepen in on the healing session. And you also get a beautiful private, individually picked playlist for you to be able to also go back through and use whenever you want. The other option is maybe you're feeling like you need more than one Reiki session and you kind of want to also get the support to integrate things in between what comes up between the Reiki session. So I have what's a deeper journey. It's a 3-month journey where you get 5 Reiki sessions throughout the 3 months, and you'll also get support in between each of the sessions. So if there's something from your very first session, because usually the first session is very broad, and we kind of like tap into all of the things that come up within the Reiki session. And so then being able to be a part of a group, a larger one, not a group, they're all private, being a part of a deeper journey, the 3 months, really then allows us to go back in and support each one of them a little bit deeper and do a deeper dive into working through what might have come up in the first session. So that's a really, really beautiful way to help shift out. Reiki is a very old transitional transformational experience that has been around for absolutely decades. It's an ancient Japanese healing technique, and it is based on channeling universal energy to the client in order to help heal the energetic body as well. So what it does is it helps flow the energy through the body so that it can restore physical and emotional well-being. So it's a really, really beautiful modality that helps remove blockages and enhances the body to actually naturally learn how to heal itself. So it is a phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. If you want to know more about that, you can head to the link in the show notes and it will give you all of those, all of the benefits of what the Reiki is for. It honestly is, there's nothing that Reiki, there's nothing that no one could benefit from, honestly, with Reiki. It can really address a lot of things, from stress, from emotional releases, right through to like enhancing your sleep, to increasing your energy levels, to improving your focus and your mental clarity, to improving your emotional self-awareness as well. It can also just improve your overall well-being and physical being. So there's lots and lots of different things that it does tap into when it comes to Reiki healing. It's a really, really beautiful, powerful service that is being offered. So if you want to know more about it, you can head to the show notes. And if you've got questions, feel free to come and shoot me a DM. And the other thing that I have also launched is my somatical coaching. So somatics is a beautiful way where we integrate the wisdom of both the mind and the body, because normal coaching there'll be a lot of talking, right? A lot of talking. Whereas what we do is when we go through somatics, we tap back into the body and we tune into the physical sensations, the emotions, the thoughts, and then we can identify and transform whatever those limiting beliefs are, or whatever those habits are that you know are no longer serving you. And because we go inward, we actually shift it out of the body. So we have a deeper level of healing that actually takes place when we do somatic coaching. So the word somatic actually comes from two parts. So if you're new to this term, I think it's important that we understand what it means. So soma is actually a Greek word that means body. And so this refers to like anything that is connected to the physical body, to the mind and the spirit, right? And then attic is, so the last part of somatic. This is this word means or describes to something else that is like outside of the body, right? So together, that's when we talk about it being related to something, it's like somatic is related to the body, right? It's outside the body and inside the body. So it's a beautiful connection between physical sensations and emotional well-being. And then this helps you have bodily experiences that promote the healing and the personal growth that you are potentially looking for, depending on where you're at in your journey. So it's a really, really beautiful um, type of modality that we do instead of just like coaching therapy. So I actually do a lot of somatical coaching inside my containers right now, but you usually have to have a business. So I didn't have it separate for those that were potentially just looking for somatic coaching without business related stuff. So this is super exciting, and I'm super excited to bring this to the table. And if you want to know more about it, head to the link in the show notes and you'll be able to read up all of the information around it too. But it's a really, really powerful modality. It really does allow you to seek clarity, get guidance, to really allow yourself this deeper level of trust within yourself and this deeper level of actually going on a deeper healing journey too. So there's two ways as well that we can embark on somatic coaching. You can just have a one-off session if you wanted to. Maybe you're new here and you're like, oh, I kind of like it, but I'm not sure I want to fully commit. Then you can just have a one-off session with me. It's a 90-minute session. We do it live through Zoom. The other option is maybe you know that there's some deeper healings that need to be done. Maybe there's a certain topic that you are embarking on right now that you really need some extra support in, and you know that it's going to take more than just one session. I have a 4-month container where you and I can go a little bit deeper. We do bi-weekly calls, but then you also get in between support as well. And I've done this type of framework pretty much in most of my private spaces when it comes to business coaching. And it has been super, super transformative because you get that support in between the calls, which is, that's honestly, that's really where the work is. The work is not necessarily done on the calls, the work is done in between the calls. So being able to have that guidance along the way is really, really helpful as well. So that is really exciting. I'm super excited to bring that to the table as well. And then the other thing that we've also added as a new addition is Oracle reading. So you guys will know that I have done a lot of training around Oracle readings. I have a huge collection of Oracle readings, and I genuinely absolutely love the guidance and the wisdom that comes from Oracle cards. It really does help you get confirmation, right? It really does unlock clarity and insight for different areas in where you're at and what you're navigating and what you're going through. And so there's quite a few different selections from just one card spreads right through to 9 card soul spreads. So head to the show notes as well, because that's also super exciting. This is really an area where you can get guidance on relationships, careers, big life changes, business, personal growth, anything that you might need a little bit of guidance, or you want a little bit of confirmation on in any area of your life. The wisdom from the oracle cards really does help provide insight information and help you navigate whatever you might be experiencing at that time, and just give you a little bit more confidence and trust that whatever is unfolding is exactly where you're supposed to be. So you can select whether you want to just do one card spread where you have a specific question, or there is different other options where we can delve into, like maybe a chakra cleanse, and we can get oracle guidance on a chakra cleanse, or maybe you want to have a little bit more around life purpose. There's so many different options that we can pick from. I really invite you to trust your intuition on maybe what it is that you are potentially looking for. The idea of oracle readings is the focus is really providing supportive insights and advice that actually empower you to make informed decisions. So most of the time you'll really know, but sometimes just having these readings really does offer a unique dialogue, a unique information that gives you messages from what spirit is actually bringing through for you, specifically tailored to you. So it's super, super cool. I would be lost without my oracle cards. I feel like they really do help me tap into wisdom that I already know, but it's just like this beautiful confirmation of like, yes, okay, this is the right path, or this is the thing that I need to start working on. So again, these are done remotely as well. You do not need to be in person. You do not need to be on a Zoom call or anything like that. We have a framework that you need to fill out beforehand, but depending on which selection you go for, and then it's just all done remotely. And then I give you all of the guidance and the feedback through a Google Drive document. So super, super cool. I'm super excited to also be able to offer these as well. So who would be someone that would be looking to, or someone that could benefit from having an oracle reading? Well, this could be anyone from someone that's maybe facing important decisions, someone who is wanting to seek understanding that might be going through a really challenging time. It could be someone that's just potentially desiring growth or self-discovery, or it could be someone that's actually ready to start stepping into that spiritual path and awakening their spiritual side of things as well. So there's lots of different things that it can benefit depending on where you're at. But honestly, like oracle readings, one of my absolute favorite things to be able to offer. So that's something else that that is also a new service as well that has come to the table. So if you have any questions about any of them, or you want to read more information, you'll find all of that in the show notes. So go and have a look. And then of course we also have Evolve, which is going to be relaunched, but I'm actually going to do another episode on that one. So stay tuned for that, because we have revamped the entire evolve as well, and it is no longer just for salon owners, and it's no longer just about business as well. So I'm really excited to also bring that to the table too, but you're going to have to tune on into another episode for what that's all about. So stay tuned on that one. But if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about today, please come and let me know. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. Head to the show notes as well. You'll find all of the links for any of the things that we have discussed here today. I'm so excited to bring these to the table and to support you into your next level of evolution as well. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you real soon. Talk soon. Bye. Mwah.